Welcome back to Subnautica and my underwater disaster known as Camp Tejas. This was supposed to be my home under the ocean, and it turned into this disaster of tunnels. It's quite sad, actually. But luckily, the habitat patch just hit, and it gave us some new updates and structures, so I will gladly show those off in a minute. This is the most confusing thing to run through, and it's not exactly safe, and it's not in any way practical or efficient, so it badly needs a change. But I wanted to show this off as a kind of a before and after, and yeah, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I thought I was being clever. That's how I knew I got in trouble in the first place, being clever. But on to the new and improved Camp Tejas. And after several hours of work later, I am proud to introduce you to Camp Tejas 2.0. And you can see the immediate differences this habitat patch has made. This base actually looks like a base and not just a bunch of tunnels that somebody threw around without a plan, because I wouldn't do that. I will show you a bit from the outside, and we will go inside for a very sad version of MTV Cribs, Subnautica style. You can see these structures are so much better, so much cleaner, and it doesn't feel like you're in a cramped tube being crushed to death. So some of the new features they added is the small locker here that you can put anywhere along the walls. And my favorite thing about them is you can label them. I love labels. You don't have to guess where stuff is. You have 50 lockers. You don't have to freaking open each one. You just see dive gear, and then there's diving gear. Very simple idea. The other thing they added is bulkheads, so I will show you in a second. Let's actually do this right now. If I crash our submarine into this, the bulkheads will separate the different parts of the structure apart from each other, so when you spring a leak, it'll keep the water in a confined area, just like a bulkhead does on a ship or a submarine. Very basic idea, but I will show you the structural flooding mechanic first, as I just purposely slammed the submarine into it for science. There we go, let's turn this big boy around. Not quite as maneuverable as a Spitfire. Okay, I don't know where I got my submarine license from. I printed out an online submarine license from the internet. That's not good. That's not normal. I'm doing a barrel roll in a submarine. Okay, so we're going to smash this into that tube. Hopefully that's enough damage to spring a leak, and I will show you basically how the bulkheads are separated. Let's head down here. Let's see if we can see some water in there. Oh yes, you can see the water flowing in there rapidly. And the rest of this should be dry, hopefully, if the bulkheads are working correctly. So we open this up. We are flooded in this compartment. Open the door. You can see the water rushing in. Oh god. Close the bulkhead. Close the bulkhead. Look at that. And the water will drain back down. This is still under development, but I think it's a pretty solid addition to the game's physics and flooding mechanics. We'll fix this real quick. Little welding.
Hull integrity restored. Training systems initiated.
And then back with the tour, as planned. These glass tubes were added this patch as well, and I really like this addition. Before you had to lay one of these tubes down, you could make a glass window here, here, and there. But now with the entire thing being glass, it really adds a nice level of immersion, and it just looks gorgeous. That's what I love Unknown Worlds for, is they can create these worlds, and then they're making things to capitalize on showing it off. You can walk down here, and this is my workshop. Been having a little problem trying to figure out how to lay this out so be efficient and space saving. But like I said, I love the labels. There's a lot of salt in there. I'm a very salty individual, so you can see that's where I keep the salt. And we have our magnesium, our batteries, and so on. Labeling is always nice. The Workbench was added last patch, as well as these other tools. So it's nice to actually have a proper workspace instead of trying to cram everything into a tiny little tube. So this is still under construction, but I really like this. Let's head down here to the right where I will show you my fish prison. I mean my fish sanctuary. You can now build aquariums and go out and capture fish and bring them back here for interrogation or for viewing pleasure, depending on what your plans are. I call these little guys the Taco Bell Liberation Front fish because they look like little floating tacos. Or maybe little fish chalupas, not sure. That is Sir Reginald. He is a British spy that I captured. I'm trying to get him to give up the location of the others. We have over here these ugly little guys. And then there's that poor guy put in there too. But anyway, it's really neat. You can really show off some stuff. I think there's the eyeball fish. He's very strange. But if you're playing survival mode, you can cook these fish as you need. It's a way to keep your food. And things like I believe these guys are called air sac guys. You can actually use them for crafting. So it's a way to store... It's like Red Lobster. You go in the Red Lobster and they have the lobsters and the aquarium in the front. It's kind of the same deal, I think. But I use this as my fish interrogation room. Down here we have a top secret facility called Nothing's in here yet. So I'm looking for plans to expand in the future. This may become another storage area or maybe a fish prison. Think about all the aquariums I could fit in here, and then we can go around and capture all the fish in Subnautica. And they will be in here, and then if all the fish are in here, they can't kill me out there. This is a pretty good plan. I think we will have to expand on this idea later. Yes. That's the evil villain way of thinking. Let's head down here, and we have a couple cool little structures still to show off. We have the observation dome. Bismarck liked to point out this is the structurally weakest room you could ever have in a underwater station. But this room also kind of reminds me of the frustration dome from my favorite TV show, Futurama, when I was a kid. So, come in here like Professor Farnsworth and I just start screaming. Moving on, we have the moon pool, which is very exciting stuff. Head down here. You can jump into the water. Or you can get out of the water like so. You don't have to use a door. But it also keeps your seam off. And they have a exoskeleton suit in development. And I assume it'll be able to house one of these in here as well. I can't wait for the exoskeleton suit. I plan on punching sharks in the face from the comfort of a metal body. So you hop in your seam off, it'll drop you just like so. And then we're underwater. You've seen the seam off before, but added the docking feature that was on the submarine to the base. So very cool stuff. This is a $20 game. Before I always said this is still an early access game. Don't buy it yet. It's still in development. Stuff like this is the original reason I bought this game. I saw the artwork for this almost a year ago. And it's finally nice to see it in game. This game's been in development for a little bit more than a year now, I think. And $20, it's a buy. I will say that with confidence now. So, thank you for checking out. I will try to live stream it a couple of times in the upcoming month. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And thanks for watching. Next video, I will try to go out and capture some fish, punch some sharks possibly in the face, and maybe be killed by a Leviathan. Who knows? But I think we need to start a fish prison. Because look at them. Smug little faces. And also, look out for Sir Reginald. Where is he? He's over here. This motherfucker's plotting shit.